So we're out in front of the Ashland polls. Congressman Jim McGovern, great to see you.
Happy to be with you.
Thank you for taking a couple minutes to talk to us. Talk to us about why Election Day is so important.
Because this is what our, epitomizes our democracy. And this is when people have a chance to, to actually, through their vote, tell us the direction they want our Commonwealth to move in and our state to move in and our country to move in. And
So, I talked to Senate President Spilka about this. You listen to the media and you think the world is divided and the country is divided. But I mean, today we've been outside the polls and it's been good spirited. Different sides have been getting along. What do you see? What do you feel?
No, look, I think people are basically good. I think there are individuals who try to influence our politics, who do so in a way that is really not living up to the goodness of the American people. And, I think this is one of the most consequential elections, if not the most consequential election of my lifetime. And I will be honest with you, I'm really enthusiastic about Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Tim's a good friend of mine. I served in Congress with him, and I'm frightened to death of Donald Trump. I've never witnessed in my lifetime a more vulgar and offensive campaign. If you or I said a tenth of what he says, would be canceled. And look, I want a president who's going to bring some joy to our politics. And I want a president who will appeal to the better angels of our nature. And I want all of us to do that. I want politics to be respected, and I want it to be a source for doing good. And so that's what's at stake in this election.
So what are going to be your priorities? You wake up tomorrow morning, and you get back to work. What are the priorities of you?
Well, look, the priorities are about how do you help strengthen our middle class. We're going to have to deal with some tax reform in the next Congress. I care deeply about the environment and combating climate change. Obviously, I care deeply about the investing in our infrastructure. We passed the biggest investment in infrastructure since the creation of the interstate highway system when Democrats controlled the House and President Biden was president. And there are more that we have to do in that area. I also believe that we ought to protect people's rights, a women's right to choose. We ought to protect women's reproductive freedom, the rights of the LGBTQ plus community, the rights of everybody. The beauty of this country is our diversity, and we ought to celebrate that. And I worry that sometimes our politics has become about, dividing people based on who they are and what they believe. So we can do better, and I hope we can turn the page in this election. There's a lot that we need to do, and part of the responsibility of those of us in office is not just to complain about things or point fingers, but to come up with solutions and achieve results. That's what Representative Lewis is about, and Senator Spilka, and that's what I'm about too.
Right. Only because it happened. You were a congressman when Donald Trump, who you just stated you don't care for. What if he wins the presidency? How does that change your job in Congress?
It makes it more difficult.
Okay.
Because he and I don't share the same values.
Right.
And I don't think millionaires and billionaires and big corporations need any more tax breaks. He does. I actually care deeply about the environment and climate change. I think it's real. Here we are in an election day, and it's like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
And we're in Massachusetts. So we differ on that. I also believe we ought to be lowering prescription drug prices and not giving more benefits to the pharmaceutical industry. And I believe in protecting people's rights. A woman's right to choose, protecting women's reproductive freedoms, protecting the rights of the LGBTQ plus community. And I believe we need to fix our immigration system and not just point fingers. The one thing we all know is we can do better. We ought to find common ground. We almost did, but Trump killed that deal. But I hope we come back and our politics will be such that we can find common ground. It'll be more difficult if he's president. And he's already said that he's going to have an enemies list. He wants to be a dictator on day one. Kamala Harris will have a to-do list. And I want a to-do list. I want to know what we need to do to make Ashland better, to make Massachusetts better, to make our country better, to make the world better. And so that's where I hope we can focus. And that's why I hope he doesn't win and she does.
There you go. Hey, well, it's always a pleasure to see you. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.